There will be soon. Walter on the side found himself dumbfounded and whispered. Then, he was very puzzled. What will be fucking soon? This person Charlie, and his words simply are inexplicable. I fucking hate such people the most. Everything they like to say is vague and unclear. Not sure, just when he hadn't figured out what Charlie meant. Charlie said to Isaac again, also, Mr. Isaac, think of a way to get me a little mercury dichloride. It is a very useful thing. As soon as Charlie said this, Walter was struck by lightning. Ah, why does this Wade want mercury dichloride for? Also, why has he ordered the people to prepare dialysis equipment for? Also, he just asked someone to prepare dialysis equipment, and what did he say immediately after? There will be a transplant soon? What is going to happen there? Now, he has asked someone to prepare mercury dichloride again. Isn't this meant to be for me? And at this point, Walter felt that the whole body was about to collapse. He knelt on the ground and crawled in front of Charlie, crying and said, Mr. Wade, please don't play with me. If you are not satisfied with the 100 million United States dollars, I can add another 100 million for you, please. Raise your hand high, let me be free. Charlie waved his hand and said with a serious face, Walter, we have an old saying in China that says, according to the way of human beings, you can still treat others' body. You are an American, and you may know very little about Chinese culture. Isn't this just an opportunity for you to practice it yourself? Firsthand? Walter went crazy and cried again and said even with more desperation, I don't want to practice. I don't want to practice. Mr. Wade, please give me a way out. No matter how much money you need, just say a word, no matter how much money. I am willing to give. Please don't fix me, I'm still young. Charlie smiled and said, then I really want to congratulate you. I like to mention that kidney failure at such a young age could be fatal, but you can rest assured that I will keep you connected to the dialysis machine 24 hours a day to ensure that you don't die. Charlie said coldly, compared to what you did, I am acting so kind, am I not? Walter wailed in fright. Mr. Wade, I beg you to forgive me or let me call my dad, and I will ask him how much money he can give you if he does more than he can. How much is it that would be enough for you? Charlie smiled and shook his head, and said indifferently, you don't have to daydream. From now on, you have completely disappeared in his world, and he can no longer find anything about you. Any clues, in the future, you will lie down in the cage of the kennel, eat what dog eats, drink what that dog drinks, and get dialysis if you need dialysis on the spot. After that, Charlie added, and you can rest assured, compared to your nasty methods, I am much softer than you. You only know that poisoning people, regardless of treatment, and no matter how long the person who was poisoned by you can live, you can be regarded as a bandit that kills or buries. But, after all, we are still civilized people. The way we civilized people do things is that since we control the killing, we have to control the burying. Not only will I give you free treatment, but I will also provide you with food and housing. Most importantly, I at least guaranteed you that you will not die in the next 10 years. After Walter listened to these words, the whole person's spirit and emotions completely collapsed. He has been a dude for more than 20 years. Although he has harmed many people, he has never experienced any suffering himself. He has always had his way out no matter what he did. Right now, Charlie has already pronounced his future, and his future is to stay in a dark dog cage and survive on dialysis. He cannot even imagine such a thing even in his worst nightmares. Such punishment, for him, is far more terrifying than hell or dying. He never dreamed that Charlie would be such a cruel character. Only then did he realize how much trouble he had caused in the past. So he looked at Doris. He saw in her his last resort. Thus he begged her, crying and wailing, Doris, please hand me over to the police. I accept all the legal sanctions and I am ready for a just trial. Please, Doris. Have some pity on me. After all, I am your class fellow. Doris, please. Walter knew very well in his mind. Although it is terrible to go to jail, at least he can go to jail in good health. If he really falls into Charlie's hands and leaves his fate to him, it is all torture and terrible agony ahead. Not only will he suffer from various diseases, but he may even die in the kennel in the end. So in comparison, going to jail is really too humane. Charlie sneered and ridiculed, "Walter, you have become so fast. You were begging Doris to ask her not to hand you over to the police. How come a few minutes later, you start begging her to hand you over to the police?" Walter cried out and said, "Mr. Wade, Mr. Wade, please call 110 and let the police take me away. I am a criminal. Criminals should accept the sanctions of the law, so don't bother yourself with giving me justice." Then he looked at Doris again, crying and begging. "Doris, please say something. Help me beg Mr. Wade. Doris, I kowtow to you." Before the words were over, Walter went desperately to the ground and kowtowed to the floor, banging his head over and over on the ground. Doris didn't say a word at this time. Charlie just said that he should use his own way to treat his body. Although the methods are a bit terrible, it is the best end for people like Walter. After all, Charlie still planned to keep him alive, but when he planned to kill her father, he didn't plan to have any kind of mercy. If she would not agree to his dirty demands, he would definitely not lend a helping hand to her father. In the end, in the case of her dad, death was the only end. Therefore, Doris knew very well in her heart that at this time she must not have any kindness towards this criminal. She must control the women's urges of sympathy and emotional weakness. Therefore, she said coldly to Walter, "I'm sorry, Walter, you are not worthy of my sympathy for this rubbish. You have created your own fate, and you are all responsible for it." Walter was extremely desperate and cried, "Doris, I know I was wrong. I beg you to give me a chance to make up for my mistakes and reform myself. Otherwise, even if you tortured me to death, your father wouldn't be able to turn back time. Everyone is an adult. Since the incident has happened, we should carefully negotiate the follow-up solutions and remedies. This is much more realistic than investigating the fault alone." Charlie said coldly before Doris could speak. "Walter, from now on, if you say one more word without my permission, then I will extend the 10-year deadline for you with 1 more year." Hearing this, Walter was frightened and dared not say even 1 word more. Charlie ignored him but continued to say to Isaac, "Mr. Isaac, I want you to use all your available relationships. In the past 3 days, all the surveillance videos of Walter captured in the city must be taken from the surveillance system. Delete it completely. I want other people to be unable to find his whereabouts by any means. Even if the Rothschilds come in person, they must not find any clues that bring them to him." Isaac said without hesitation, "Master, don't worry, I will completely erase him from the monitoring records. Even if it is the King of Heaven, the great Master himself, it will not be possible to find out any whereabouts and clues pointing towards him." Charlie smiled satisfied and said, "Okay, I leave these matters to you and Mr. Orville. Hurry up and move your men. After you get it done, let me know. I will send Walter to you downstairs. You will take him and his men to the kennel together. It is time for action."